What is going on, guys, and welcome to the second episode of the Harmless podcast. I did get a new microphone. This is a XLR mic with a mixer. The sound quality is incredible. I got the gain a little lower than I want it to be. Everything's not quite tuned the way I want it because I got a computer sitting next to me blowing like 5 different fans. So next episode I'll have that on the floor and out of the way so I can tune my audio settings just right. But I kind of like how it sounds right now. I got it kind of deep and earthy, you know. Makes me sound manlier. So anyway, guys, before we go any further, I just want to, if you guys are wondering about the actual, my name of, the name of the podcast, The Harmless Bear, it comes from a game company called Harmless Games, and they were around in they were around in like the 90s. They made a game, they started out with a game called Subspace, and Subspace was like this, kind of space shooter. It was 2D overhead space shooter, and it was actually done in 256 colors, but for what it was worth, it looked amazing. Like the guy, the artist, I think his name was Juan, I can't remember his last name, it's been so long, but these guys were just really, really, really brilliant for their time, for any time, they're still brilliant, I should say. And eventually, they moved on to make a game called Infantry, and that's where I came in. I actually I heard about it through, I think, Game Fan magazine, and I was hooked on that game for a very, very long time. And that was back in a simpler time in PC gaming. This was before Steam and before all that other crap. It was back when there was a lot of indie games floating around. The free games like Well of Souls and Realms of Chaos. There was games like Nexus Online. There was a ton of games, man. I can't even remember them all. I used to play Planet Orion. God, brings me back, man. Those were the glory days of PC gaming. I really do think, and that's what the name comes from. Whenever I think of, I think of the most fun I've had gaming, it was playing Infantry. So I dedicated my podcast's name to the company that made Infantry Online and Subspace, who got subsequently bought by Sony, who didn't really do much with the game at all. They just wanted to add it to their portfolio to make them look more attractive. So, more people would play EverQuest, which I never did. I started playing WoW because I was really upset with Sony and the way they treated my favorite game. But if you guys are curious, Infantry is still around. It's still kicking. Go check it out at infantryonline.com. I'll try to remember to leave it in the show notes. I already have the show notes typed up, so I just sort of wanted to throw that out there before, I got into the actual show. So, let's see here. What I'm actually doing my podcast before I do it, I do a lot of like prep work, I write down a lot of stuff I want to talk to you guys about. And the only problem is if I sit here and actually go verbatim, over the stuff I write down, it sounds kind of, it sounds kind of fake. Like I got written down, break into the history of the show's name, company that talk about other games they produced. They move into PlanetSide. And PlanetSide, there's a new PlanetSide coming out. That was another game made by Sony, and that was sort of going to be the segue. I was going to tell you guys that Sony neglected Infantry, and then tell you that PlanetSide 2 is coming out. Most of you guys have never heard about it. It's basically a massive multiplayer first-person shooter. It involves like 3 factions. God. Like, one was called the Conglomerate or something. I played the beta a long time ago. It was a lot of fun. I actually played as, like, a commander. And it's got classes just like most other, first-person shooters. But instead of, leveling up or whatever in the traditional sense, you gain experience points and then get certifications. And you can get them for like flying or whatever. And that I think if I remember correctly, that actually is what determines your class. And you can always respec, or at least you could when I played it. And the objective of the game is to like take over like these bases or whatever. And you need like a hacker and all this other. It's a lot of fun. Like I'm going off of memory, like, because I just remember hearing about PlanetSide 2, and I just wanted to bring that out there and just tell you guys a little bit about it. But I don't really think anyone cares about PlanetSide, so I'm just going to move on. I'm in this world where I think people actually care about PlanetSide. Maybe you guys do. I don't know. You guys are probably just more interested in Battlefield and Modern Warfare and Dead Island. And Dead Island just came out today, and I got it from today because today is my birthday. My birthday. And I played it for a while. I recorded some gameplay, and I'm actually rendering a file right now. I'm going to put it on the old YouTubes. And I got to tell you guys, the game is a lot of fun. I mean, my Let's Play does the game absolutely zero justice. I mean, it's hard to do a Let's Play on a game when you never played because you don't really know what to talk about. You're so immersed in the game, and you're like trying to figure everything out, and you're having fun. It's like you got to remember to talk while you're doing it. It's kind of, but I don't know. It's like, in my opinion, a Let's Play, just, hey, let's play this game. I'm going to sit here and amuse you and talk? Why don't we just play the game together, and, I'll throw in some comments here and there. I don't have to sit here and be a stand-up comedian while playing the frickin' game. So, I did what I had to do, and it was a lot of fun. Actually, I did 3 episodes. I'm probably going to do some more. I'm not really sure. We'll see how far it goes. But basically, the game so far, it's just a lot of beating the shit out of zombies with anything you can find on the ground. Like, I found like a crowbar, like rusty pipes, knives, and you can like modify weapons, like put barbed wire and nails and shit in the weapons and beat zombies that way. The game, it's a lot of fun. Like, watching it looks a little repetitive, but then when you get into the game, it's like, you can't not get tired of beating the crap out of zombies, man. Especially, and whoever wrote this game, they really want it. I don't know. They're really creative on what they were doing. Like, there's some situations that were just kind of funny, and the characters, they're not really shy about like dialogue or anything like that. There's a lot of foul language and alcohol and debauchery going on. So it's really cool. It's not exactly what I was expecting. What else was I was going to say something else about it, and I completely forgot. Oh, my God. Oh, well, maybe it'll come back to me in a second. I don't know. Well, let's move on, shall we? One more thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is Counter-Strike Global Offensive. For you guys out there that are, you're looking to break into the YouTube business, you're looking to get some notoriety and some respect. If you're a really good first-person shooter player and you're quick to adapt, if you never played Counter-Strike before, I should say, then that'd be the game to go for, because I think a lot of people are gonna turn to YouTube and for tips and tricks and stuff, because Counter-Strike, the dynamics of the aiming and the strategy in that game they're a lot different. I don't really think there's many first-person shooters out there that are quite like Counter-Strike. So I think it's gonna be like the next COD 4. It might not blow up as big because like watching the game isn't as entertaining, but at the same time, there's going to be a huge surge for gameplay and tips and all this other crap, because the game's going to be really challenging, and that might also mean that that it won't be very successful at all on YouTube. But if you're into the game in the first place and you want some, you want to like jump into a community and get some notoriety and some, just kind of stand out, then I think that's the game to go for, guys. I really do. And who knows? You might be a huge entity in the whole Counter-Strike console community. I mean, you never know. Just something to keep in mind, because I played I just popped in Counter-Strike Source. I've never played Counter-Strike Source. I played 1.6, and I've played, and I've played pre-Steam Counter-Strike, and I've played my fair share of the game, but Source is a little different, and it seems like the hitboxes they're not quite there, and it was kind of uncomfortable to play, but it sort of reminded me, because when I was shooting like the AK-47, I forgot how much recoil that game had. It was just incredible, So, I really think that really made me think, like, man, I wonder if this will be the next Call of Duty 4. I wonder if this will be the next Modern Warfare 2, at least for a certain amount of time. You know, this might kick off and be really huge. You never know. And I'm just doing my due diligence, guys, as a as a podcaster or just a guy that likes to, talk to people about gaming. Just to tell you that I think it's going to be pretty big on YouTube, at least for a while. It might not be big forever, but it'll have its little surge on YouTube, and might as well take advantage of it, right? Who knows? You might really love it. That's what I'm saying. You never know, guys. You just you never know. And speaking of YouTube, I got another thing, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but what the hell, man? It's just when I was getting ready for my Modern Warfare 3 bonus podcast. I was watching all this footage, of this Modern Warfare 3 footage, with Tabes and Justra and all these other guys playing the game, or on IGN.com, they had a bunch of videos, and there were just people going nuts, just screaming and yelling and fighting over a fucking video game. And I said this in my Modern Warfare 3 podcast, and I'll say it here, guys. First of all, when you guys come to me for the news, I'll tell you right now, I am not at all biased one bit. I could give a shit less about, Battlefield 3 or Modern Warfare 3 or anything like that. I like to play video games, guys. I like to play first-person shooters. I like to play strategy games, and I like to play RPGs. I like them all, It's just, they're different flavors of ice cream. I don't always want chocolate ice cream. Sometimes I want strawberry. Sometimes I want coffee flavor. It's whatever I'm in the mood for. And, that's what gaming's all about. And if I would ever be a fanboy to any series, it would probably be, it'd probably be Quake, because that's probably my absolute favorite franchise. I absolutely love that franchise. I've been a fan of Quakes for years and years and years and years. And while I don't necessarily still play Quake with the same tenacity and loyalty as I used to, I still love the game. Sorry, guys, I'm just kind of adjusting my microphone, trying to get comfortable. But it's still, if you guys, that is the only game I'd ever be a fanboy towards. So, rest assured, I'm not going to sit here and just, not going to sit here and gloat and, talk smack about one franchise or another. It really doesn't bother me. I try to keep it neutral, keep it real. Because, like I said, when I was gaming, in my prime or whatever that may be, we didn't have Call of Duty or Battlefield back then, so what does it matter to me now? I don't really care. I think they're both good in their own right, Guns for Hire said it himself, he said, when he wants to play a fast-paced, high-action kind of adrenaline rush kind of game, he goes for Call of Duty. When he wants to play more of a strategic sort of, long, drawn-out kind of immersive battle, he'll play Battlefield. And that's what I'm saying. It's like we don't have to, and that's a problem with the gaming industry these days. It's getting to the point where everybody wants to be like Call of Duty, but we don't all have to be like Call of Duty. Why don't we just mix it up a little bit? Try it. Just try something new. I mean, a game like Unreal Tournament or Quake. Or Quake 4 or whatever, or Doom with multiplayer, I think that would kill if it had enough marketing behind it. If they put legs behind the marketing on a game like that, a game where it's just basically a frag fest, I think it'd get a lot of attention. I mean, Quake, I don't really know, because the skill gap in Quake is just absolutely massive. There are people that play Quake Live, right now, where that are just incredibly good at the game. They've been playing non-stop for over 10 years. And those guys you just can't touch. And it's not like getting in the lobby with Sandy Ravage or anything. It's getting in the lobby with an aimbot. I mean, because those guys, they have dead-on aim, and they can move. I mean, they can move quick. They can strafe jump around the map faster than you can comprehend where the guy's going. They know all the power-up locations, and they know when they're going to respawn, and they got their they have their paths and everything totally in sync. I mean, those guys are nuts. So maybe not so much a Quake, but if someone would just make a deathmatch game, and market it real well, and actually, put some quality time in the development, I think it'd sell like crazy. Yeah, but unfortunately, developers these days, all they're really worried about is just emulating what really sells, instead of just looking at the simple fact that people want to play deathmatch. And it's staring them right in the face. Go to any lobby, or go to the lobby selection in Black Ops or whatever. What is everybody playing? They're playing free for all and team deathmatch, man. What is everybody playing in Halo? They're playing Slayer. What's everybody doing in Battlefield? They're sitting around sniping because they don't really want to capture flags. They just want to kill people. And the best way to do it is the best way in their perspective is to sit there and look through a sniper rifle. Or maybe it's because, and that's another thing. What is wrong with people in Battlefield, like with the sniping? I mean, I was glad to hear that the sniper rifles in Battlefield 3 are just total ass. Like, they don't work as well as, like they're like 19 hit kills, and that kind of spells some relief to me, because quite honestly, I'm sick and tired of having useless teammates just sitting around behind like the C flag and Erica Harbor just sniping. I found a guy that had I think he had like around 61 hours with the M95, and he had I think he had like 1,400 kills. He had 1,400 kills in 61 hours. I mean, that is pathetic, because his score per minute was like in the 150s. I mean, he was just terrible. And I got up and I started screaming at him in the mic. I'm like, dude, what color is C? Because right now it's red. And the dude actually told me. He that's another thing, man. Like, people on Xbox, like, a lot of people complain about the guys on PlayStation that they don't have microphones because it didn't come with it, and if they do, they're Bluetooth and they suck. But you learn on Xbox, nobody actually uses their microphone until you get up and you start screaming at them and swearing at them and insulting them when they're not doing their job, or just, because you're an asshole. Wherever the case may be, when you start throwing punches at them, they actually start talking back. And I went to town on this guy, and he piped up and he said, "You know what? Shut the fuck up, man. Blah 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 blah." I'm like, "No, man. What the fuck you doing? What color is C?" And he told me. He actually fucking told me like I didn't know. Like, this was news to me. He said, "You're assault. You go capture the flag. That's your job." And I was just like, oh my God. I'm assault. I need to go capture the flag. Wow. And he's like, "Yep." And I'm like, "You lazy piece of shit. You can't even throw a fucking..." And then he actually told me, he's like, "Look at the score." And he had like 1,000 points or something. And I'm like, "Yeah, bro. Because you're throwing motion mines and I'm freaking killing people in them. So you're getting motion mine assists. Don't give me that bullshit." I mean, you get to get a couple kills, but I mean, come on, man. We actually lost the game because, they kept grabbing C, man. Like, and I don't know. Like, I would go back and get C, and then I'd run up and try to get, try to hold B. And as I was holding B, they just capture C again. And this guy's just standing there behind the rock the entire fucking time. And it's crazy, dude. It's absolutely crazy. So, I hope that goes away, because, that's part of Battlefield that's gonna make me want to fucking, it just makes me want to quit playing the game. I can't stand it, PTFO. PTFFO. That means PT the fucking FO. Yeah. I don't know. Oh, God. Oh, man. Alright. As far as news is concerned, the creative director of Halo 4 walked out. Well, he actually walked off. Ryan Patton of 343 Industries left the team. He said the game had become a crazy endeavor. He also says, quote, "The Halo I wanted to build was fundamentally different, and I don't think I had built enough credibility to see a crazy enough endeavor through." And he also says, I think time is the most valuable thing we have, and I've decided not to waste one more day on working on something that doesn't speak to my values. So I don't know what this means for Halo 4, but either they're trying to get away from the whole Reach thing where it's like armor locks and all this other crap, or they're sticking with it and he's getting tired of it. I don't know. This could either be a good thing or this could be a bad thing, because obviously something, we're either getting more of the same or something new. So this doesn't really help us out. I don't know what to say about this at all. So I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Maybe we'll get some more information soon. Just want to let you guys know about that. Let's see here. Oh my God. Doom has been the ban of the Doom ban. Because Doom has been banned in Germany for 10 years. I know, but like you guys are like waiting me to actually... What are you trying to say, man? Doom what? What about Doom? Is there a new Doom coming out? Oh, you mean the ban? The ban's been lifted in Germany? But who the fuck cares, man? Well, after 12 years, Doom is finally... people can actually play Doom in Germany now. It's crazy. How many more times can I say Doom in this podcast? I don't know. Doom and gloom. Doom, doom, doom. According to a BBC News report, the Federal Department for Media Harmful to Young Persons, man, there's actually a German word for that and I cannot pronounce it, has removed Doom from the list of banned titles because it has become, quote, mainly of historical interest and less likely to be played by children. However, the panel hearing appeal was not unanimous in wanting the ban lifted, as some members voted to keep the ban in place. Additionally, the North American version of Doom 2 remains on that ban list, as it includes levels from Wolfenstein 3D that feature swastikas. What's with Germany and like denying the swastikas? And I'm sorry, guys, it happened. We're not going to look past it. Stop hiding it. It happened. I know you're embarrassed about it, but it happened, guys. What can I say? Maybe I'm being insensitive. I don't know. But, I don't know. I'm just going to move on. Not going any further. I don't want to make any European, I don't want to make anyone in Germany upset with me over the swastikas and stuff. I'm not saying I don't know. I'm moving on. Over on Kotaku.com, watch out, hackers. Sony has hired an official Homeland Security officer. This spring, a cyber attack resulted in a 23 outage of the PSN and theft of personal details from over 77 million accounts, which probably means like 30 million because, shit, I got like 5 different PSN names myself. I mean, when they're free, you might as well make as many as you want. In 23 days, I don't know, it seems like it was a lot longer than 23 days. I mean, Am I alone in that assumption? Like, I thought it was a lot longer than that. When you tell me 23 days, that's really not so bad. I mean, people were out 23 days of not being able to play their PS3, that's pretty bullshit, but with, everybody telling me they bought Xboxes and whatever because they wanted to play their shooter games, 23 days just, it still sucks. What am I kidding? Who am I kidding? Glad I got both systems and a gaming rig, though. Let's see. Sony created a new Chief Information Security Officer post, reported Reuters, and selected former U.S. Department of Homeland Security Officer Philip Renninger for the position. Wait a minute. Didn't this guy do something really bad? Let's Google him. I thought he fucked up somewhere. Didn't he? Maybe I'm wrong, but news 2010 maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe he's all right. Maybe I don't know. I just remember some guy from Homeland Security not doing his job or fucking up or something and stepped down. But whatever. So, yeah, now Sony has a guy in Washington watching after their stuff. And Dead Island to receive 1 day patch, day 1 patch. Yeah, I don't think that actually came out because of course, I'm going to leave this article in the description. But they're talking about a day 1 patch for Dead Island. But like Swordsman from D-Crew's complaining about Dead Island right now on PC. And guys, if you haven't bought it yet, I don't know. Take it from me. When you buy an indie game or a game that's, just kind of, not really a mainstream title, it's not really a multi-console title, I think you should probably get it on console because they're going to focus on console more than PC because that's where the money is. That's where they're going to sell more copies. And as far as that's concerned, you want to go with the Xbox because if you have both, of course, if you have PS3, I'm not telling you to go out and buy an Xbox just to play Dead Island, but they're probably going to focus on the Xbox because Microsoft is a lot more stringent on their games. They have very high standards. I'm not saying Sony doesn't, but out of the both of them, Microsoft has them. So, and the proof's in the pudding. When there's a multi-platform titles, Xbox usually has the best one, especially with Call of Duty. But the same can be said with a lot of other ones. The only exception I can think of is like Portal 2. I mean, obviously the best buy for Portal 2 was PlayStation 3 because you got the free PC copy. Even if you didn't have a PC, you still got a free copy. Maybe you can give it to your friend, and then that way you both can play co-op together. I thought that was pretty cool. So I'll leave that in the description. I'm not going to talk about it, or in the show notes and shit. I'm not going to talk about it because I don't believe it actually happened. Also in the show notes, I have 3 articles about PlayStation 4 in 18 months. Basically, there's a rumor circulating right now that PlayStation 4 will be out in 18 months. Sony's just sort of they're just sort of saying, well, we're not going to talk about it because we don't negotiate with terrorists and we don't respond to rumors, so kiss my ass. So whatever. But in lighter news, as far as PS4, being in development, Media Molecule is working on a PS4 title, according to Silly Gamer, which is spelled kind of weird. That's also will be in the show notes, guys. According to the September 2011 edition of PS Magazine 3, Media Molecule is supposedly hard at work at developing a brand new user-generated title slated for release on the PS4. Sony's fabled successor to the highly successful PS3 console has recently been the subject of endless mounds of speculation regarding its technical specifications and release date, with reports pointing toward the high-profile debut at E3 2012. Yeah, I think we're all guessed that, but I mean, obviously, this is kind of a confirmation. Little Big Planet or whatever is being developed for PS4 right now, so it's got to be coming out soon, guys. It's on the way. Also in the show notes, guys, I have the PlayStation 4 preview for September 6th, which is today. Looks like we got, let's see here, a bunch of stuff, actually. I won't really go over everything. There's a Burger Time HD, which for you old guys like me, that sounds pretty cool. There's a God of War Origins Collection demo, Blood Rain Betrayal, Altered Beast, Mega Man 4, got some more Rock Band DLC, some other goodies, just, it's in the show notes if you guys want to check it out. Also on GamesRadar.com, Twisted Metal is coming to PS3 on Valentine's Day. I guess David Jaffe, whatever his name is, I think it's David Jaff, right? Doesn't that sound right? I think he's scared of all these big fall titles, so I think he wants a fair shake at the market share, which, that totally makes sense. And, because, I don't know, he didn't really have I don't really think the keynotes or presentations at E3 the last couple of years have been very strong, so it probably is a good idea to, get a release date all on his own. And plus, I sort of appreciate a developer releasing a game, sort of like outside the the general time frame, sort of like how Dead Island was. I think Dead Island came out at a really good time because right now there really hasn't been a big release in a while, not that I can think of at least. So, September's a good time to release a game, and February I think is a good time too because while Call of Duty might be hitting its stride because most of the Christmas guys are just they're really getting into it now because they've actually gotten good at the game. There's also going to be guys like me out there that, getting a little bored, need a new game, at least to rent, maybe buy. And I think February's a pretty good time, so kudos to you, bro. Kudos to you. I don't know, there's, in the article, I think there's just some speculation. It's like, oh, well, we're polishing or whatever. No, you're not. You're not polishing. You're just waiting. You're biding your time, but that's cool. Appreciate it. And other related David Jaff news. David Jaff on cutscenes. I don't want to fucking watch your movie. That's right. I don't want to watch your cutscene. No, I paid fucking $60, says the ever strongly opinionated David Jaff, condemning games which sacrifice game mechanics for bombastic cutscenes. That makes a lot of sense because why should I, why should I sacrifice a little bit of the pixel budget so you can add some stupid cutscenes? Why should I miss out on a couple weapons or whatever so you can put some cutscenes in there? Why am I losing out on a map so you can put it in the DLC so you can put more cutscenes in the game? I mean, you take up half of the real estate on the disc for a 2-hour campaign, and yet we, this is what we get shipped, and they still find a way to lock the rest of the, they still find a way to lock a bit of the content away on DLC and charge us just to unlock stuff that's actually still sitting on the disc. I mean, these developers are just getting on my nerves, man. And I think he's really just talking about the cutscenes and how much space it takes away. I don't want to effing watch your movie. I don't want to watch your cutscene. No, I don't want to see your effing set piece just to show. Look at our effing set piece. No, I effing paid $60. He also says, quote, for me as a designer, I'm very passionate about this stuff. I know when I play a game, my brain is active when you give me a challenge or when you give me something to explore or discover. It's not active when I'm watching your cutscene. Man, this guy is going to town. I'm going to buy your game brand new, bro. You just earned that purchase. Thank you very much for standing up for us gamers. Really appreciate it, bro. In sort of pseudo kind of Inception Sony-related news, we have the Sony 3D visor to change 3D forever. 750-inch screen mounted to your head. That's right. It's logically 750 inches. So you can sit on your couch, look like Jordan LaForge, and play some video games, watch some porn, or check out Avatar. A 750-inch logical screen. The price will be $783, brand new. At least that's what they expect it to be. As far as the article, it says 3D Visor will indeed release this year with a confirmed release date, price, and some great features that will take 3D gaming and movies to a whole new level, including the one that all gamers would love to have, the biggest screen on the block. Don't get me wrong, guys. Like it really sounds like a good idea because a 750-inch screen that sounds great, but $800, man. God, that's a lot of money. It's all I can say, guys, if you're really interested in this technology, do what I do. Sit back, relax, let all the chumps buy it, wait till it gets cheap, wait till it gets better, and then buy it. It's sort of like buying an Apple product. Like, who actually went out there and bought the first iPad, People that bought the first iPad are they're the Apple, I'm not going to call them fanboys, but they're the Apple enthusiasts that will just buy anything that Steve Jobs talks about. And you notice the second iPad's a little bit better, a little bit cheaper. I'm pretty sure the third iPad's going to be really good, a lot cheaper, and more practical. It's marketing. I mean, the first people to come out and pay for it are they're basically the first people to buy the first edition are basically paying for the beta test. They're the beta testers and they're also the investors. Meanwhile, the guys like me that sit back and wait till like version 3, you know, we're just like, yep, thank you. This actually works now. You know, because I don't know, guys. There's just some people out there that just can't wait. They have a lot of disposable income and they just want the technology now, and that's totally cool. You know, if you're in that situation where you have a disposable income that, you know, a never-ending disposable income, you know, be my guest. But I'm just telling you, you know, if you want to be smart and practical with your money, I'd hold off and wait for it. This does seem like promising technology, but I don't know, guys. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see what it's like. I'm gonna go to Best Buy and try it out. That's another thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go out and try it out at Best Buy. Yeah, but then again, you're talking to a guy that's got, you know, instead of going out there and buying that big ass, you know, LED, you know, 3-inch thin, you know, Samsung. I have a 65-inch DLP TV. I paid $900 for it, and I think it's just as good as any LED TV. 120 hertz. It's not 120. It's not 260 hertz or anything like that, but it gets the job done, and it's beautiful, and it lasts almost forever. You know, all you gotta do is switch out a bulb every so often. Save me a lot of money, and you know, happy with it. How far are we into this episode? 36 minutes. Wow, I gotta hurry up and I gotta get to bed soon. Got that birth. Never mind. Anyway, let's see. Killzone patch 1.12 detailed. That'll be in the notes. I don't know how many of you guys actually play Killzone, so I'm just gonna hold off on that. Let's see here. Over at multiplayerfirst.com, Multiplayer Lives Here. I love repeating their website's mission statement. It's kind of cool. Battlefield 3 beta concerns, post-launch support, and weapon balance. DICE talks fan feedback. Basically, they're just kind of talking about, let's see, recently we published an article, 7 awesome betas. We also mentioned there are 2 types of betas. Promotional tool, developers, blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, I didn't actually read this article. I just wanted to share it with you. I glanced over it, but I didn't actually read it enough to where I can remember it. But they're kind of like talking about the concerns of the beta because it's like it's almost release date, but they're assuring us like they will have a beta out, you know, and the information is still useful because, you know, even though like the discs have already been pressed and they're boxing it right now and sending them out to stores pretty soon. They can still use the information, you know, gathered from the beta to, you know, to make day 1 and week 1 patches. Get those out as fast as they can. Get them through QA and get them ready to go before the game actually ships. So, you know, the contribution in beta is still important. And so that's pretty much what they're going over. Let's see. I'll leave a couple of these news articles into the show notes just for you guys to read. The last article I want to read to you guys is, or actually share with you guys, is Freddie Wong delivers again advertising for Sony. Freddie Wong, if you guys don't know who he is, he's an amazing little filmmaker. I think he does, for the most part, I think he does like special effects and just little like, you know, he does like some services for you know, film companies or movies or whatever. But they've also, you know, they've also found a way to support themselves, just making cheesy little films. And oh my God, gas! I had Golden Corral. Yeah, for my birthday I had some Golden Corral and I liked it. Thank you very much. But we see here Freddie Wong, who most certainly will. Oh my God, Freddie Wong, who most certainly will know YouTube under his name Freddie W. This is translated. Oh my God, I've read this for. No wonder I couldn't read it. I couldn't understand this. I freaking read this on the translated website. Never mind. Sorry, guys. I'm at a loss for words here. Just totally out of my element right now. I'm still trying to get into this podcast thing, and I'm sounding really unprofessional. But that's what's fun. It's fun because you guys are with me, and I'm having this little learning experience right now. So, all right, here we go. Industry gamers. Sony says publishers are getting the living crap kicked out of them by Microsoft. Last week, a story came to the forefront regarding Microsoft's content submission and release policy obtained by Eurogamer. The gist of it is that Microsoft has some very strict policies on what they're willing to publish on retail discs or on Xbox Live Arcade, and if it arrives on Sony platform first or has more content on a Sony platform, Microsoft will not publish it. What does Sony have to say for this? About all this? A lot, apparently. Industry gamers have chatted with Sony Online Entertainment SVP of Publisher Relations, Rob Dreyer, who is more than happy to highlight what he feels that are very damaging policies to Microsoft. And I'll just read the first quote and give you guys my little take on this situation. He says, quote, I think what Xbox Europe boss Chris Lewis was referring to was something we've all known about for quite some time, that we've been dealing with and trying to deal with. In the spirit of competition more than anything, we look for ways to give our consumer reason to have the PS3. I think what Chris and the other representatives of Microsoft are doing is protecting an inferior technology. I think they want to dumb it down and keep it as pedestrian as possible. So that if you want to do anything for Blu-ray or have extra content over 9 gigs, or you want to do anything of that nature, you'd better sure as heck remember that Microsoft can't handle it. Dreyer began with his all-out attack. Basically, it's a long read, guys. I'm not going to go over it completely, but basically, it's Microsoft sort of just being Microsoft about the Xbox, and we're just seeing a lot of this stuff come out of the woodwork now. I think Carmack, or I don't know, maybe it happened. Maybe it's been going on before QuakeCon, and I just started noticing it because I've been diving deeper and deeper into gaming news. But it just, man, there's a mudslinging battle going on right now. Everybody's on aging technology, and nobody wants to fess up for it. They're just slinging mud left and right, trying to play the blame game. When in all actuality, I think both consoles are outdated, and they really just need an upgrade. I mean, I've upgraded this PC about 2 years ago, but the PC I had before this PC was still faster, still had better specs than the Xbox, and I built that PC probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I think when I actually built my PC, it was already faster than the Xbox. It had much better specs. So I don't know. This thing I got now would just run rings around it. I mean, it already does. It plays games looking much better. And honestly, you look at the specs now. I mean, let's look this up together, guys. Let's see how crazy this is. Xbox. Oh my God. Xbox specs. Let's see here. The CPU is a 733... Oh, God, that's the Xbox. That's the original Xbox. Of course, that one's 60 specs. My bad. Xbox 360. All right, here we go. We got a 3.2 gigahertz power PC, triple core Xenon. That's actually not too bad. That's a pretty strong processor. I mean, the only problem is that only 512 megabytes of RAM. I mean, it was GDDR3. I guess 5 years ago that probably did cost a lot of money, because we're talking about manufacturing a console that's supposed to be mainstream, and DDR3, that. Wait, no, actually we're on 5 right now, aren't we? GDDR5. I don't know. I guess that's we got a 500 megahertz ATI Xenos. I think there's how many? Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's possibly 4 sound cards. I'm not sure. God, I can't. That's the only problem. That's the funny thing about consoles, is that they have different kind of sound cards and mixers and stuff like that. But yeah, for the most part, I think the biggest problem with the consoles these days is just they don't have nearly enough RAM. They never ship these guys with enough RAM, and that's the biggest concern you're hearing from these developers is just, we don't have enough RAM for new more weapons. We don't have enough RAM. We don't have enough RAM. No RAM. Gotta conserve the memory. And, I really think the next console they come out with, they just say, fuck it, let's just put 2 gigs in there, because RAM's cheap nowadays, guys. So I don't really think we're going to have this problem anymore, hopefully. And I really think they should future-proof the hell out of it and give these systems more flippin' RAM. Who cares if they're not going to utilize it right now? They're going to utilize it down the road, you know. They're going to find a use for it somewhere down the road. God damn it, somewhere down the road. Oh, God. All right, guys. So that's it for episode 2, guys. I hope you enjoyed listening to me fumble around, having a few mistakes. But hey, I don't try to hide my mistakes, guys. I'm only human. I'm not perfect. I'm not getting paid for this, and I'm doing it for fun. So, you know, it's not supposed to be taken seriously. I mean, if I don't take gaming seriously as most people do, then why am I going to take my podcast that seriously? This is all for entertainment. But I hope you had a lot of fun, guys. Hope you enjoyed listening to this. If you haven't, please follow me on Twitter. I like to tweet to people. You know, you never know. I might be doing another one of my reviews or impromptu podcast. You might miss out on it because you missed a tweet. But my Twitter name is Dirk Deadeye, and my YouTube channel is also Dirk Deadeye. I might actually start a YouTube channel in Twitter name for this podcast, but I don't really think so. I kind of like having my my online identity tied to this podcast. It's kind of cool. But anyway, I won't hold you guys any longer. Hope you enjoyed listening to episode 2, and have fun out there. And as always, happy gaming. Talk to y'all later. Peace. Out of here.